Welcome to Kendra's Artistic Crochet Designs, and today we are going to be making this Ladybug diamond. Isn't he cute? It's got a few flowers around him. Alright, so we're going to start this today. We're going to start out with green. We need to chain 2. Let me see if I can get you a little bit closer. Hang on a second. Too close. Chaining 2, and in the second chain from the hook we are going to be putting a single crochet and 2 doubles, and that is row 1, and that's also called one block. So, and that's a falling leaf stitch. The falling leaf stitch makes one block or one square. So row 1 has one square in it. Chain 2 and turn our work. And now we're going to, in the second chain from the hook, we're going to do that again. We're going to put that falling leaf stitch into that second chain. And then we're going to skip the next 2 stitches. And in the last stitch here, we're going to put another falling leaf stitch in there. And that is 2 blocks, and that is row 2. So every row it goes up 1 block. So we're going to chain 2 and turn for row 3, and in this you'll always do the second chain from the hook, and you'll always start and end with green in this pattern. So we're making our falling leaf stitch in the second chain, and then we're going to skip 2, and in the third stitch is where we do another falling leaf stitch, which that is also our single crochet. And you'll always be doing stitches in the singles. You'll never be doing them in the doubles. So we're going to skip 2 again, and the last stitch over is our single crochet, and we're going to put a falling leaf stitch in there. And now we have 3 squares, and that is row 3. So row 4, we're going to chain 2 and turn, and again starting in the second chain from the hook. And again, we're going to skip 2 and go in the third one and put another square in our single here, skipping the 2 doubles, and in the third stitch again, which is our single crochet, we put another one, and then we put one more in, 1, 2, and because we're in row 4 we have 4 squares. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that is row 4. All right, so we're going to mark that off. I'll mark off these rows. That way we can keep track. So we're going to chain 2 and turn for row 5. And of course we're going to start out with a green. So in the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to bring our blue in. So I didn't finish that second double crochet. I'm going to finish it off by putting this blue through here. And then I'm going to work over my green yarn because I need it at the end, because if you recall, I told you that you will use green at the very beginning and you will also use it at the very end. So you got to carry your green yarn with you. So this first one is blue. All right, and then we're going to bring in, this is called a mango. It's like an orangish peach yarn color. And I'm going to carry that blue with me too, because I'm going to need that blue. But right here in the middle is where we're going to put this orange. And then I am going to leave them here and bring in the blue. Then we're skipping the next two. The next one is blue, but I need to bring this green with me so I can use it next. Yep, that way. And of course this last stitch will be green. And you should have 5 squares. So every row it's going to go up 1 square. So row 6 will have 6 squares, row 7 will have 7 squares, so and so forth. So here we've got green, blue, and then orange, blue, and green. And that's what this row should look like. All right, so we are going to, I'm going to mark that off. Mark off row 5. And then we're going to get ready for row 6. So we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. And then we're just going to start there in the second chain from the hook, like we always do. And we need our blue. So we're going to, next one, first one is green, then blue, and then we're going to switch over to our orange. Bring that over here. Wait a minute, what happened? I need 2 loops on my hook to do that. Okay. All right. And now I need 2 orange. And then we're going to switch over to the blue. And the next one is blue. And then we're going to switch over to the green. And the last one will be green. All right, so there's what it looks like. And that's row 6. I'll mark it off. All right, so we're going to chain 1 and turn, chain 2 and turn, not 1, 2. All right, so let's start our first square in the second chain from the hook. And then we're going to blue, and we need 2 blue, and that doesn't make sense. Oh, no, that's why. Blue is not even in this row. All right, hang on a minute. All right, so we need two green. That's what we need. And then we need our orange. But I am going to bring this blue up because we are going to need it for the next row. So I'm just going to bring it up to this row and use it, just carry it. And so we need, the next one is orange. And then yellow. So I'm carrying all these colors with me. And then we need to go back to orange. There we go. And the next one is orange, but I'm leaving that yellow behind. And then I need to go to green. We're going to leave the, what did I do? I messed up something. There we go. Alright, so we're going to leave this orange behind, right there. Bring this blue over one more time. And we're going to finish this off with 2 green. And then we're going to leave that blue right there. I'm not going to bring it all the way up. So this is what it looks like. So our flower is almost made. So row 7 is done. All right. So let's go to row 8. Chain 2 and turn. Starting our green square in the second chain from the hook. And then we need to get our blue and switch over to blue. So 1 blue. Now we're going to switch over to green. And we need 1 green. Now we need our orange. And we need 2 orange. And then we're going to finish off this square with green, blue, green. So leaving that orange there. So there's green this way. Blue. And green. And that is row 8. Alright, so let's mark it off. And go to row 9. And we're just about done with that flower. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. We're going to start our first green square in that second chain from the hook. And then we need to switch over to blue. And now we need 3 blue. So there's 2. And 3. And now we need this orange. And we just need 1 orange in here. And then we need our blue. So now we need 3 blue and a green, and that'll finish off this row. Oh, there's 2, 1 more. And our flower is complete too. Alright, so what we're going to do, since that flower is done, we're going to go ahead and cut off that yellow and the orange because we're not going to need either one of those for a while. Alright, and row 9 is done. Chain 2 and turn for row 10. We're going to switch over to the blue after we start out with the green. And now we need 3 blue. Carrying that green with us. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we're switching over to green. And we need 2 green next. And then switching back over to blue. And then we need 3 blue and a green. And that will finish off this row. And there we have it. So that was row 10. And that's what it looks like. Let's mark it off. Alright, so row 11. We're going to chain 2 and turn. And we're starting our green square in that second chain from the hook. Switching over to blue. And we need 4 blue next. One, 2, 3, 4. Then we need to bring our red in. We're going to start the ladybug. Yep, where are you at? There you are. And we need 2 red. So there's 1, and 2. Leaving that red there, we need to go back to our blue. And now we need 3 blue and a green. And that should finish off this row. Switching over to green and putting green in this last stitch. And there you have it. So that is row 11. Mark it off. And row 12 is next. So chain 2 and turn. We need green first, and then we need our blue. Bring in the blue. So we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then we need to bring in our red next. And now we need 4 red. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh, we need to switch over to blue, not green. All right, well, let me fix that. Switching over to blue. Oh, goodness. And now we just need 3 blue and a green, and that'll finish off this row. Switching over to green. And that is what row 12 looks like. All right. Mark off this row. All right, so chain 2 and turn for row 13. And then we need to switch over to blue after our red, and we need 4 blue. 3 blue. Not 4. Where did I get 4 at? Okay, so 3 blue. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, then we need to switch over to our red. And we need 2 red. There's 1. And 2, and this is where we bring in our black yarn. And we just need 1 black. And then we're going to switch back over to red. And we need 2 red again. So 1, and 2. And then we're going to switch back over to blue. And we need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then switching over to green. Finish it off with the green. And there's row 13. Let's mark it off. Alright. So row 14, we're going to chain 2 and turn. I'm going to start out our first square in the first chain from the hook. Second chain from the hook. And switching over to blue, we need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need our red. So we need 1 red. And then we need our black. Switch over to black. While we're carrying our red, we need 2 black. So there's 1, and 2. So we'll leave that black behind and bring the red back. And now we need 2 red. So there's 1 and 2. Then we need to switch over to blue. And we need 3 blue and a green, and that'll finish this row off. So there's 1, 2, 3. Oh, that blue goes over there. Alright, I'm bound determined to tangle these up. And there is what row 14 looks like. So that's row 14. Let's mark it off. I think this is going to be a really easy pattern to do. So let's chain 2 and turn. Starting out with the green and switching over to blue. We need 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. Then we need our red, and we need 3 red. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we need our black. And so we need 1 black, switching back over to our red. We need 2 red. So 1, and 2. And I carried that black with me because we're going to need it right here. We need 2 black and right after this. So there's 1 and 2. Now we can leave it behind and switch over to blue, and we're going to finish this row off with 2 blue and a green. There we go. And there is row 15. So onward to row 16. Chain 2 and turn. And then we're going to start off with 2 with falling leaf stitch in the second chain from the hook and green. And now we need our blue. So we need 2 blue, so there's 1, and 2, and now we need our black. So bring this up, switch over to the black, and we need 3 black. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we need our red. So we need 6 red. So there's 1. And we're carrying the black because we're going to need it. No, we don't. Hang on a minute. We don't need to carry that black. And leave it here. We just need 6 red. Alright. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. And 6. Yes, and then we need our blue. So we need 3 blue and a green, and that'll finish off this row. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And that is row 16. And that's what it looks like. Alright. Mark that row off. So 17 is next. Chain 2 and turn. Alright, so we're starting with the one green, and then we're going to switch over to our blue. And we are needing 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Switching over to our red, we need 6 red. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, five, and 6. Now we need our black, and we need 3 black. So there's 1, 2, 3. Oh my goodness. Hang on a second. We do not need that red in there. Alright, let's put these black back in. And then we're going to finish this square off with 2 blue and a green. So I need to switch to my blue next, leaving the black behind. And there is row 17 finished. Let's mark that off. And row 18 is next. And we're going going to chain 2 and turn. Starting out with our green square, we need to switch over to blue for 3 blue. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need to switch over to our black. And we need 3 black. There's 1. 2. And 3. Switching over to our red. We need 6 red. And leaving that black behind. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we need 4 blue. So switching over to our blue. And then leaving this red right here. 4 blue and a green, and that'll finish off this row. So there's 1. 2, 3, and 4. Now we can switch over to our green and finish it off. Alright, so there is 18. And 19 is next. So we're going to chain 2 and turn. Starting our green square in our second chain from the hook. And then we need to switch over to blue. We need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need to switch over to red. That was 4, right? Yeah. So we're going to switch over to red, yes. So we are needing a 1 red here. And then we need to bring our black up here. And we need 1 black. And 2 red. And we're just carrying everything with us at this point because we're going to need it all. Switching back over to the black. We need one black here. And then 1 red. And then we need 4 black. And we are done with the red, so we're going to leave the red behind. So we just need 4 black in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then switching over to our blue, leaving this black behind, we need 3 blue and a green, and that'll finish off this row. And that is row 19. So row 20, chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start our square, first square in the second chain from the hook, and then switch over to blue. So we need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, now we're going to, well, not green. We need to switch over to our black. And we need 3 black. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we need our red. So we need 1 red and back to our black. Two black, back to our red, we need 1 red again, and then we need to go back to the black and put 2 black in. Oh, wait a second, we don't need that red anymore, it can stay there. And then back to our blue. And we need 5 blue and a green, and that'll finish off this row. So there's 3, 4, 5. And here's our green. Hang on a second. I kind of switched them. There. There we go. There is 20 rows. Okay. So we are needing row 21. Alright, so row 21, we're going to chain 2 and turn. We're going to start out with 2 green in this row. So there's 1, and 2. And then we need to go to our blue. And then we need 4 blue. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need our red. Alright, so we need 1 red here. Green, red, and then black. 1 black, and then we're going to go back to our red and put 2 red in. Oh, wait a minute. I left that black behind and I need it. So there's 1, and 2. So we got 2 red, and then let's go back to the black again. And now we need 1 black, and 1 red, and then 2 black, and then let's go back to our red, and that's the last time we're using the black in this row, so we'll leave it right there. So we need 3 red, and then switching over to blue, we need 2 blue and 2 green, and that'll finish off this row. Oh, wait a minute. I need to switch over to the green. And now put 2 green in. And there is row 21. Alright. Let's mark it off. Starting on row 22, chain 2 and turn. And start it off in the second chain from the hook. Starting with 1 green, and now we need to switch over to blue and put 1 blue in. And then switching back to the green, we need 1 green, and then back to the blue, we need 1 blue. And now we need to switch over to the red. So we need to put 5 red in. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. And then we need a black. And then switching back over to the red, we need 5 red again. So there's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 5. Then we need our blue. And we need 4 blue. So there's 1. 2. 3. And 4. And now we need to switch over to green. And we need to finish this off with green, blue, green. There's our green. And our blue. Did I not go in there right? I guess it is okay. Didn't look right. And there, our last one there in this green, as usual. There's 22 rows done. Let's mark off that row 22. Chain 2 and turn. Alright, and we need one green switching over to blue. It's going to be blue, green, and then 4 blue. And now we just need 4 blue. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we need to switch over to the red. We need 5 red. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we need our black. And we need 1 black. We're in 23. Okay, yeah, we need 1 black. And we're going to switch back over to red. And now we need 6 red. We're not going to need any more black this row. So there's 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to switch over to blue, and we're just going to go blue, green, and then last 4 stitches. Switching back and forth. And switching back over to the green. And the last one. And there is row 23 done. What am I doing? We got just 23 is done, not 24. Alright, so for 24, we're just about done with this. Alright, chain 2 and turn. And starting our green square, and we actually need 2 green squares to start out with. Then we're going to switch over to our blue. No, we're not. We need our orange. We're bringing in the orange. But let's bring up that blue because we're probably going to need that later. Yes, we are. We're going to need that later. So let's bring that up with us too. And we need 2 orange squares here. So there's 1. And 2. And then we need a green. Switch over to green. I'm leaving that orange behind there. Nope, I better not. I need it. Oh, goodness gracious. Alright, we're going to need the orange. Alright, so we need a green here. And then we need to switch over to red. So I need 1 red here. And then I need to bring this black down, as I need black next. Now I'm carrying all the colors with me. So now we need black, 1 black. And And then we need to switch over to our red. And we need 2 red. So there's 1, and 2. Switching back over to our black. We need 1 black. And then back to our red. We need 2 red. One, and 2, and then back to our black. We need 1 black here. And then we're going to go back to the red. And we need 1 red. And then back to the black. We're done with that red. We're going to leave it there. I need 2 black. And then we need blue. And we need 3 blue. There's 1. 2. And 3. And then we need to switch over to green. We'll leave that blue behind. So now I need 1 green. And then we're switching to the orange. And I need 2 orange. So 2 orange and 2 green. That should finish off this row. And that is row 24. Let's mark that off. $25. Chain 2 and turn. And we're going to start off with our green square, and we are going to need 2 of them. So there's 1, and 2. And now we need our orange. yellow, orange. So we need the yellow. And then the orange again. We need to take this yellow with us. We're going to carry the yellow and the orange all the way down the other end. And then we need a green. Alright, and then we bring up our, we need, we need blue. We need 3 of them. Alright. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And then we need our red. Let's bring up this black because we're going to need it next. So we need red here. And then black. And then back to red again. And we need 2 red. Oh goodness, I didn't do that right. That's why this don't look right. We don't need that black yet. I do need 3 red here though. Goodness. And was good to bring up that black. Okay. Hang on a second. Finish that off first. It would help if I stayed on the same row. Three blue, 3 red, a black, and then 2 red, no, 1 red, and then back to the black. I need 2 black. one. All right, back to the red. And we need one red. And then I forgot my black again. Hang on a minute. Bring that back out. There it is. That black kind of got away from me. Alright, now I need the black again. And I need two black. But I do not need this red anymore. So I'll leave that there. One, and two. Alright. And now we need a blue. So we'll switch back over to blue. Alright, let's see. We're on 25. Three red, one black, one red, two black, one red, two black. Goodness gracious. We're not having blue. I need that blue in the next row. So I did need that red and I left it behind. We didn't need that blue anymore. Alright. Alright, so two black. And then the red. And we need one red. Now I can leave it behind. And this blue as well. Oh, and the black. Alright, so now I need orange. And we need orange, yellow, orange. And then two green. And that'll finish up this row. And half of our diamond is done thus far. So we got half of it done. Let's mark that off. You can also cut off that yellow because you won't need that for a long time. And when we come back next or tomorrow, we are going to start decreasing on both ends and creating a couple more corners. So this is what we have so far, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Have a great day, and bye bye now.